Welcome back. So this video is a lot of fun to make, and hopefully you'll enjoy it, especially for those of you who like watching an airplane fly from inside the cockpit again. So this whole video is the whole series of landings and takeoffs that we do in the flight test program, meaning we're going to do normal takeoff, which is in the RV-10, usually use about half flaps, match it with the aileron, down aileron. And then we'll continue to do a short field landing, a full flap landing, no flap landing, and take off to match each of those. There's really not much variation in the actual runway distance used across each of those if your technique is good in the RV-10, but the approach ends up being quite a bit different. With full flaps, the RV-10 comes down like a Cessna 182. With no flaps, it's a pretty flat approach, and it's a much higher airspeed, where we can come down across the numbers at 67 to 68 knots. With full flaps, we're going to be much higher, maybe 77 to even 85 knots there with no flaps. So you're moving across the ground a lot faster. In all of these, I do not slam on the brakes. We're not here to break any records. We know what the RV-10 does, and everything's new, and I know the guy who has to replace the brakes, so I'm not here to wear out brakes. The ones you're seeing in this video are kind of just a short part of the full series that I've done. Flight test cards, we actually go out there and do these same takeoff and landings at multiple weights and having the CG in different locations. Matter of fact, some of the flight tests that I did yesterday, I think I have it on the video for you, was a maximum gross weight takeoff, and then I climbed all the way to 17,500 feet. So, and the density altitude up there was 19.5. Yes, I have an oxygen bottle. That went on at 10,000 feet, and the airplane performed very, very nicely up there. I think we had a true airspeed of about 152 knots, and pretty close to 68% power still up at 17.5. That was pretty cool. Anyway, enjoy, and thanks for watching.
All right, what we're going to do, we're going to fly some patterns here, and we're going to make a left traffic for runway 12. And we'll make a no flap landing on our first approach. Actually, we'll make a normal approach here, so everybody can see what a normal approach looks like. Thompson traffic, RV-10's entering a left downwind 12 Thompson. Hey, 3 Yankee, are you staying in the pattern?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm the RV-10 ahead of you. I'm going to be doing some flight testing. I'll try and stay out of your way, but we'll be doing stop and goes.
Calling units, look back, we full boys 02, 6 miles north of the field, inbound on the V1 runway 1. 6 miles east.
All right, to beam of the numbers, I'm going to come back to about 12 inches of power, and that should decelerate us to flap speed. We got 12 inches. We want to get down to about 87. We're going to come out with the first notch of flaps. There we are at 87. First notch of flaps coming in. And we're going to start a left base.
Thomason traffic, Skyhawk 1583 Yankee, turning crosswind for runway 12, Thomason.
That's Thompson, RV-10, Charlie Victor's left base, 12, Thompson.
1,000.
Final hour 4, So we're in the key position here. We are on base leg. Landing checklist, everything's looking green. We We are set for a go
Open
around.
traffic train 252, 5 miles to the south, and bring around left
Runway
down,
looks
runway
clear.
29, open.
Thomaston traffic, Skyhawk 1583 Yankee turning downwind for runway 12.
Traffic, Footway 02, short.
On the RV-10, I usually go to full flaps on short final. It does come down fast with full flaps, so you want to make sure you got the runway made. Basically like a 182. Thomaston area traffic, RV-10 turning final, 12, Thomaston, stopping.
500.
Alright, flaps are coming out full. Now we're going to target
400.
70 knots for a final approach speed. 70 knots for a final approach speed.
300.
Alright, there we are at 69.
200.
The airway's looking good. We're right on glide path. We're touchdown on the numbers.
100.
69 to 70. Again, this is a full flap landing. There we go. Beautiful. Right on center line. And if we got on the brakes, we'd stopped in less than probably 600 feet. I'm not going to wear out the brakes. We're going to come to a full stop, get flaps up, and do a normal takeoff. Alright, trim is set, fuel pump's on, mixer's rich, prop is full forward. Temperatures are all in the green. Real good, actually. And we're just going to do a normal takeoff. So normal takeoff, we're going to kind of get the stick neutral. Let's go in with the power, about 5 seconds to full throttle. So we don't chew up the prop. Then get the stick back, and we'll get the nose off the ground. And the nose comes up, and we'll just relax the stick pressure, hold it there, and the RV-10 flies off very nicely. Less than 500, 600 feet. And we're about 2,500 pounds today.
Flaps.
All right, flaps are coming up.
Flaps.
Back to climb power. And we'll let the nose drop to 110 knots. Temperatures are all looking really good. The engine's beginning to break in very nicely. We'll turn crosswind.
Runway 12, Thomaston.
Thomaston RV 10 Victor Charlie, turning left crosswind 12 Thomaston. We're at that stage now with the RV-10 and the engine that we can do a series of takeoff and landings with a series of takeoff and landings without any overheating problems or damage to the engine, making it run too hot.
Pattern there, they got it started that way.
When that traffic car 508,000.
Thomaston area traffic, RV-10 left downwind 12 Thomaston. Alright, we're going to do... This time we're going to do a half flap landing. Our approach speed will be a little higher, 75. So here we are in the downwind. Flaps are going to come out of reflex. We're at pattern altitude.
Thompson traffic, Skycatcher 025 kilos, on final from runway 28, full stop, Thompson traffic.
And there we are, coming to beam of the numbers. So we're going to come back again to 12 inches. A big engine, we don't want to be pulling back to idle. Want to pull it down slowly. 12 inches, you can see we get a nice reduction in speed, as long as we don't let the nose fall.
1,000.
So again, down to 87 knots, and we'll get 1 notch of flaps here. Oh, there we are. Nice deceleration. We've got 90. And we're going to start at left base. And there we are at 87. So we're going to bring in a notch of flaps. Thomaston, RV-10 Charlie Victor, left base, 12, Thomaston. Okay, so here we are on left base. That is all the flaps we're going to use. We are at 78 and about a 500 foot a minute descent. That's just a perfect approach.
Traffic, Skyhawk 1583.
500.
Thompson.
Thompson,
400.
RV-10 Charlie Victor, turning final, 12, stop and go, Thomaston. Okay, here we are on final now, and we're going to target 75. We are at
300.
flat landing. There's 78. We'll keep the power coming back. Everything is set for a go-around. Everything is set for a go-around.
Minimum.
There's 76.
200.
So we have 73 knots, and the angle of attack is agreeing. Looks good.
And visually, it looks very good. Getting close to the numbers here, and we slowly just reduce the power and bring the nose up for a flare. There we go. Not much difference in that usable length used there. Certainly less than 1,000 feet, and we're very easy on the brakes here again. So again, we will just leave the flap set and do, I tell you what, we'll do a no flaps takeoff this time. And you'll see the difference. And what we're going to do is actually have the flaps all the way up in reflex, which will lengthen the takeoff roll. Thomaston, traffic, RV-10 Victor Charlie departing 12, Thomaston. Alright, here we go. Again, we'll just do a normal throttle, which is about 5 to 7 seconds for full power. That engine time to wind up. Airspeed's alive, we'll get the nose up. Longer takeoff run there, visually, and I'd say it's closer to maybe 800 to 900 foot. You can see on these multiple takeoff and landings, oil temp stays below 200. And cylinder head temps right now are all below 400. Thomaston traffic, RV-10 Charlie Victor, entering a left crosswind, 12 Thomaston. Alright, so we're going to left crosswind again. This time we will make a no flap landing. They'll simulate a failed flap motor or getting busy and forgetting to actually use the flaps. You can see our approach speed will be much higher. We're going to target 85 knots on final, and our landing length will be longer as well. All right, I got the other aircraft on final down there. Will be no factor. Thompson traffic, RV-10 Charlie Victor, left downwind, runway 12 Thompson. Okay, and we are pattern altitude here. The flaps will not come out of reflex this time. So they're full climb. We got 194 there on the oil temp. 401, 403 is our highest cylinder head temps. The others are at 389 and 360. So we could stay out here and do takeoff and landings all day now. The engine's doing really, really well for us. All right, a beam of the numbers. We're going to come back with some power, and again, we're going to target 85 knots.
1,000.
All right, landing checklist is complete. We are set for a go around. Everything looks green. 88 knots.
Caution. Obstacle. Caution. Obstacle.
Thompson traffic. RV-10 Charlie Victor is left base, runway 12, stop and go Thompson. All right, here we are on left base and decelerating. We're right around 88. The angle of attack shows we're right there. So we don't want to go any lower with a no flap landing. By lower, I mean lower in airspeed.
500.
Thompson traffic,
400.
RV-10 Charlie Victor turning final, 12, stop and go Thompson.
$300.
All right, talking on the radio. Wasn't exactly the turn I wanted, but here we are on final now.
200.
Got about 500 feet a minute down.
Skyhawk 1583
88, 87 knots. AOA looks good. There's 86.
100.
So it's a nice stabilized approach here on final. You can see it's a much flatter nose attitude. Now we got the runway made. Power's coming back. And we should touch down pretty much in the same spot, but at a much higher airspeed. Here we are. And you can see we touched down there about 75 knots or so.
Thomaston traffic, Skyhawk 1583 Yankee turning crosswind for runway 12 Thomaston.
Alright, we're going to come to a full stop here and do a normal takeoff. We've got 3,000 feet runway remaining. We're going to get the flaps down normal. Trim is set. Pump is on. Everything's looking green. Thompson RV-10 Victor Charlie is departing 12 Thompson. Here we go. So again, power coming up normal. Stick is neutral as we start the roll. Then I bring the stick back. And we'll get the nose off. Right there, speed's alive. There's 58, 59, 60 knots. 62 knots and we are airborne. And about 500 to 600 feet. Flaps are coming up.
Flaps.
You gotta remember to get your flaps going up because the RV-10 will accelerate through flap speed pretty quickly. So a little steeper nose climb out there initially. Just from accelerating too fast. Again, I ended up with the slower version of the flap motor. Takes almost 30 seconds to retract full flaps. Not certain I like it yet. especially on the takeoff. It's nice to get those flaps up quicker. So the newer, faster flap motor that Vans now provides, I think, is much better. And the one that PHP sells as well. All right, we're taxiing out here at Golf Alpha 04, Mallard's Landing. We have a density altitude today a little over 3,000 feet. It's mid-80s here on the ground. And we're going to do a maximum gross weight takeoff here. So run-up's all complete. We are set for takeoff. Flaps are set, trims are set. We'll get the fuel pump down at the end. Taxi fuel normal. We're expecting a lengthier takeoff than we had. We are full fuel at 82 gallons. And I've loaded the airplane the way that we normally fly it. So Matt's Carol's weight in rocks over here in the right seat. And then we've filled up the rest of the airplane with rocks and sand and lead. The baggage compartment as well. There's 50 pounds in the baggage compartment. And the rest are in the rear seats. So fuel pump's going on. Everything's green. All cylinder head temps are right around 300 degrees. So we'll turn around and go here. Mallard Strateg RV-10 will be departing runway 25, Mallards. A typical soft field takeoff. We're going to keep our roll going here. Runway looks clear. We'll get on the center line. And here we go. Oh, full power, acceleration is really nice. Nose lifts normally. We've got 2690 on the propeller. And really only about another 100 foot, 200 feet of takeoff roll.
Angle, push. Angle, push. Angle, push.
Alright, and we'll get the flaps up. We got a good rate of climb. 900 feet a minute. And we'll come back on the power a little. Outside air temp showing 85 degrees now over the wing. We'll look at our density altitude here. Showing 3,130. Gets a little higher than that, but that's a pretty good density altitude today. And there we are, rock solid, 1,000 feet a minute rate of climb at 105 knots. RV-10 is a wonderful airplane. Have I said that enough? All right, that's it for takeoff and landings.